Flex01, and this is Karthik Kanti, and we're going to be playing some 5 minute blitz games and having some fun. I'll be sharing some of my games, my knowledge, and hopefully we will have some fun and learn a few things as well. All right, so let's request a game. I want to add some music next time. Maybe have a little bit of a music going on in the background. All right, let's see what we can get. Da, da, da. Da, 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 da. All right, it's taking its time. Let me just refresh this page. All right, request a game. And did I get a game? No, I didn't get a game. Play. Yeah, I think we got a game. Yay! All right, shiny pen. Yeah, let's just go for it. Okay, let's go right here. Threat is that. Oh. Can I just take it here? I probably can. Okay, let's just chase him first. Okay, let's attack the bishop now. He can't take right here because I'll take the knight. Oh, he goes back there. Now I can go check. This is protected by the bishop. Next move, I can just take that. So that bishop was trapped. He can't come here because his own pawn's blocking it. He can go there. He's not technically trapped. He could go back here, but I guess he wanted. I wasn't sure why he went this way. I think he was thinking he was protecting that, but I can just end up taking it. So he should have probably gone here and just let me take the rook because now I'm going to take the rook anyway. So, but now he can take this pawn because I'm not threatening to take that thing, but that's okay. We got a what do you call it? A rook. So yeah, before he couldn't take because I would have taken. So right, let's take this. Okay, let's castle. And then we'll take this next. The pawn. Threatening to take that next. And before that, we'll give him a check so he can't move the pawn up forward to protect the knight. Even if he does, we could take back with the pawn here, but that's fine. Yeah, let's just take the pawn now. We can bring our knight back here. Yeah, it's kind of expected. Okay, let's just go check first. So when he's in check, he can't take my queen. Move this knight attacking my queen and bishop. I could have moved the queen out of the way. But here, yeah, just move to here. Let's just go right about, let's go here, offering him a queen trade. Let's go back because he's threatening to take the knight. This looks good for us. Puts his rook in a bad spot because it's being blocked by his own pawn. Oh, all right. Shall I take that? Let's take with the king. Oh, I didn't even notice that bishop. Yeah, it's okay. Oh, okay. Let's take the knight. Okay, and then let's go. Oh, that was not a good move because now I can go check. taking the rook. It's a double attack. Should have taken the knight. And I have this pawn that can run down the board. There's no pawn in front of it to block it, like these ones, so it'll be easy for me to queen this pawn. But this pawn's further up the board. I might be able to take this pawn and then take that pawn, and then come back and take this pawn, and then move it forward. But it's probably easier to move this pawn, because further, the pawns towards the end, they're harder to defend for the king, because they have to move from all the way from here, all the way to like right here. This king has to come from here to like somewhere here. Okay, why is the arrow not showing up yet? So it's much harder for the king to block the pawn right here than it is to block this pawn right here. Defend against that pawn. So yeah, that rook is a goner. It's because he's in check. He can't take the knight, so he has to move the king somewhere. Next move, we can just take this. We can just pre-move that. Yeah, he's just wasting time by thinking about it so much, so that's not good for him, because then we'll have less time for later on, but it's probably not. Time doesn't make much of a difference in this game probably anyway, because we have 3 minutes to play the game versus also he had about 3 minutes before. So but yeah, let's just look back in the game while we have some time here. E4, E6, C3. So this he took with this kind of move. When they make this some C5 move right here, their plan is to attack this center 4 squares, and they're attacking this square right here, that center square, with from one of the side pawns. So that way he still has two pawns right here defending. So that's usually the plan. Sounds good. Yeah, we won that game. Oh, and look at that. We got 1,300, guys. Woo! Good job. 1,300. All right. It's time for some celebration. We got 1,300 rating. So, yeah, no, it was a good game. All right, 1,400 next. We'll see how long that takes. So let's analyze the game and learn from what we did. Yeah. So this is just attacking the center pawn. We take with the queen. He moved the knight to get his piece out. This is still the opening because most of the pieces are all in the back rank. Same for me. So we're just trying to get our pieces out and as fast as possible. And here I could move. So usually getting your queen out at the beginning is not a good idea, because then the opponent can chase your queen with smaller pieces and develop much faster. And I'll be moving my queen all over the place. But this is usually a good square for the queen to go to, from here to here, to this edge of the board, because it's hard to attack the queen here. It's not so easy. So I think he might have moved this pawn with the plans to attack my queen. But here, the rook, I can just take that pawn. So if he did something like that, if I make a move like this, for example, and he did this, I can just take this because, and he can't take me back, because then this opens up my queen to that. So he realized that, and so that's why I think he didn't move the other pawn right here next, because he had the plan of trying to take. I think he moved this pawn because he wanted to move this pawn here, but then he realized he can't attack me with this pawn because I'll just take. So he didn't move that pawn. Instead, he after I moved my knight, he moved this pawn right here, which I'm not quite sure. I think he might have been, he wanted to move his rook. So he wanted to move his knight right here, and he might have moved this pawn so I can't move my bishop right here, trying to pin his queen, his knight to the queen. A pin meaning when you have a smaller piece, meaning this knight is only 3 points, and this queen is worth 9 points. So the smaller piece is in front of the bigger piece. So if I had my bishop here, then it would have been an attack going this way. So from here to here. And this 3 points is in the front, so if he ever moves that, he can move this piece, the knight, because it's only, if he does, I'll take the queen in the back. So yeah, so probably that's why he moved this pawn right here at the beginning, so I can't put my bishop there, but it doesn't matter, because my plan, when I moved my bishop here, was to move my knight into the game and have an attack going, because I have most of my pieces developed except for the bishop. But also, you don't want to just move out your piece randomly everywhere. You want to have a plan in the opening itself, right? You want to go towards a plan. So that was my plan here. And he can't take me here because if he does, again, the same thing. My queen can, it opens my queen to take the rook. So he would have gotten a knight for a rook, which is not a good trade for him because knight was worth 3, rook is worth 5. So I would have won the exchange. So he came with a check here, which I see what his plan was. But I don't know, like I moved the pawn here, and then I moved this here. So he moved it here. See, now I can't go to this square with the knight because he has 2 pieces defending that square. And if I go here, I only have 1 piece attacking. So he would have taken me back and he would have won the exchange. Like here, he would have gotten a knight, my knight, and the bishop. So that would have been bad. So that's why he moved that bishop there. But problem was I was able to chase this bishop down. So he didn't, I think he must have forgot about that. Like here, I'm chasing this bishop with the pawn, so I'm trying to move him out of this diagonal so he can't defend this square right here. So how, maybe is there another way to defend it? Yeah, see, now he can't even bring his knight here to defend this square. If he'd bring this knight here, he could have defended this square and attacked my bishop. But I moved my pawn right here, so he doesn't have time for that. So he moved that pawn. I'm not sure what the plan was with that pawn, but I moved my pawn here. Yeah. And then he moved it here, but probably moving it here is better because when he moved it here, now I have 2 things attacking, only 1 thing defending this. So I took with a check, and this is called a double attack when you're attacking 2 pieces at once. I'm attacking the king, which is worth infinity points, and the rook 5 points. So he has to take care of the king because he's in check. So he moved out of the way, and I took the rook for 5 points for free. Now he can take this pawn because he lost the rook, so I can't take anything here. So he just got a pawn, so that's good for him. I moved my last piece to the game, and yeah, we had a good game here. He grabbed a pawn, which is good. I decided to just trade down because it's good for me. I got my king to safety, got my rooks a little bit into the game. He moved back. I took the pawn. Here he has a double attack attacking the queen and the bishop, but even if I move out of the way somewhere here with the queen, the bishop is protected. I could just take back. This is knight's worth 3, bishop's worth 3. It would have been an even trade, but I decided not to give up my bishop yet and moved it into check. Felt like it was a good bishop. Offered him a queen trade. He came with the pawn. I moved it back. I forgot to notice about this bishop right here. So I noticed this bishop is attacking my rook. I didn't notice that. So, but he took, which is okay. So I moved my bishop. I moved my knight, and then he took. That's okay. I took back. Here, he's attacking the bishop, but I took his knight. So if he had taken my knight back, it would have been 3 for 3. But then he decided to take the bishop because bishops are a little bit better than knights. But then that allowed me to move this knight here, which is a check, and I can take the rook. So yeah, nope, it's a good game. Let's go one more game. All right, and yeah. So and then after this falls, we have a knight and a rook, and we could also queen if we needed to checkmate with a queen and a sorry, queen and a rook, because it's a little hard to checkmate with a knight and a rook. It's probably doable, but it's not so yeah. All right, looks like a similar opening. We're both 1300. His name's SNSDK. All right. Should I castle? Okay, I'm gonna play a little bit differently here. So I am giving up this pawn a little bit, but the reason I'm giving up that pawn is for more activity. I want to develop my pieces faster. If he does want that pawn, he has to move his knight twice. So that'll give me a chance to move my pieces out faster. So that's my plan. Close that game. Okay, so he's blocking this guy. I think I can just do this then. Attacking a check right there and getting out of the pin. Yep. So So let's go check first. Yeah, I was attacking this and going that way, so that's why he moved the rook. So now I do want to move my queen here, but this bishop is blocking it, so I'm first to threaten this guy. Okay, so he took. I think that's checkmate right here. Yeah, that's the best move. Yeah. That was a good game. Nice. Taking here wasn't a good idea. You should, because this bishop was doing an important job of preventing my queen coming into the game. Should have probably moved it somewhere here. I think he was thinking if he took right here, I would take back with the queen, because if I take back with the pawn, it would ruin my pawn structure. But I have a better move instead of taking back, because then if I don't take back, I lose a knight. Instead, if I go here, it's checkmate. And what's better, a bishop or a checkmate? Obviously checkmate, because it's king's worth infinity points. This is only worth, like, bishop's only worth 3, so yeah. It's 11 moves, but we have those moments where sometimes we don't see it. But this pin right here, so usually I like this move right here, the queen moving here, whenever I'm getting a pin, if I do have that chance, because I'm threatening check and I'm threatening this going here. And if I can get either one, like even if he takes right here, I have that check, and then I can always take later if I ever wanted to, right? Or not take at all, because sometimes you get a better initiative by going for the king. Even if he did take out, I've probably gone for this check and then somewhere playing it along this way. So yeah, no, it's good. All right, so let's play one another game. Let's request another 5-minute game. Oh man, 1344. It would be amazing if we can get to 1400 in this video. So that would be like 2 ratings. From 1250 we went to like 1400. Okay, let's see if we can do it, guys. Let's see if we can get to 1400 in this video. So how much time do I have? All right, I got time. Oh, I should have opened with c5 actually. Okay, never mind. Yeah, let's just go here. Okay, I think he's giving me a pawn, which I'll take. I like pawns. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, that should be fine. Yeah, let's just take. Let's go back here. Let's go back right here. Okay, and then castle. I think we're good. Let's move this right here, bringing the bishop out. Let's just do a pre-move if he takes. Okay, let's go back right here. Okay, let's take this pawn. And if he takes the bishop, I'll go with a check and take that knight, that rook. Oh, that was a bad move. Oh yeah, that was a bad move. No, okay, I should be fine after this though. Oh man. Okay, fine. I'll show you guys why next later. Oh man, I was trying to calculate too much. I should have played it simple. Sometimes the simplest is the easiest move. Guys, don't try to complicate things too much. I had a really good position too. I'm behind by a piece now, behind by a knight. That's okay, we still got this. We got this. We got this. Oh no, I had a good move again. I missed it. Oh no, I missed it. Ah, I could have taken the bishop. All right, he's giving me a. Looks like he's giving me a bishop. All right, I'm fine with that. Okay, I'm good with that. Well, he just wanted to take the pawn. Is that what he did all this for? Okay, let me. What shall I do? What shall I do? Let me go back here. Oh no, I got a good. Oh man, got a really good move right there. Oh man, I'm not even seeing anything. But yeah, he has that. Okay. Okay, let's just trade down. This is good for us to trade. Yeah, he has that. Let's go back here. Oh no, let's not go back there. Just move this out of the way first. Yeah, he's gonna do that. Okay, so it's good for us right now because we got a pawn. We're a pawn up extra. Oh no, it's even because he has that pawn over there. That pawn's easier to fall. Okay, so we got to play good endgame technique to win this game. We're okay on time right now. So we got that going for us, and our king's really in a good spot right here. You know what I should do? I should push towards this, use this pawn majority right here. This 3 versus 2 majority on this side. Oh yeah, I totally should open it up. Yeah, alright, let's try to do that. Actually, yeah, let's just do that. Oh man. Shoot. Oh, did I mess this up? No, I'm good. Did I think I'm good. Oh shoot, did I? I don't know. No, I'm good. Oh man. Oh no. Alright, it's okay. We got this. We got this. What's going on? Oh no, but this is not going to do good for him anyway. Okay, fine. He has to give up that pawn, but then he has so much other pawns he can play with. But then that's not going to work. That's going to be a draw if he goes right there. Yeah, he can't really do anything actually. Can't move the pawn here because then that's draw. He has to go for that pawn. And it's going to be draw again. Yeah, he can't do anything. It's draw. Okay, that was close. Oh man, I was saved. I kind of didn't use a lot of opportunities that I had, but it worked out well. Whew. Okay, so man, there's a lot of lessons in endgames here. Okay, so let's see right here. Yeah, just the opening. I really didn't want to do this e5 opening again, like the king's pawn, but I wanted to do c5, but I wasn't focusing, and I did that. So I was like, okay, I'll play with this, but still wasn't a symmetrical position, so I liked it. And then we had different things going on. So he did give up that pawn, kind of like the strategy I had before, and so I was happy to get that pawn. And here the difference was, though, I had my bishop eyeing the square, so I felt like he was going to be a move behind to move his rook here, because he has to chase my bishop out first before he can move the rook here and try to target my king. And then I felt like I could castle before I did that, so that's why I took the pawn right here. The pawn when I moved my knight right in this position. So that's what I was trying to look at. I was like, will I be able to castle in time to prevent myself getting into trouble by on this file? Because now after this, see, the pawn's opened up. Looks really open and really weak for my king. So, and then what did I do? So yeah, so I took pawn right here, moved the bishop here so he can't move his rook here. He moved the bishop there, chasing my knight out. I moved my knight back. I castled here. So I just getting your piece up basically, right? He was threatening to take here, which I didn't really mind. I took back, chased my bishop back, I moved. So here I miscalculated something. So this was kind of important tactic. So here what I was thinking was I wanted to take here with the idea that if he takes this, my bishop, then I can go take his knight, check. So let's say he took with the queen, because if he takes with the pawn, that's going to ruin his pawn structure. His pawns won't be connected, which is not good. So he takes with the queen, then I have this move right here, check. But he had something better, which I didn't calculate. So you always want to try to refute before you play. Refute meaning see if there's any loopholes in your plan. And the loophole here is if he takes, he can actually take back. And even if I take here, I was thinking if he takes the bishop next, I can take the knight, not the knight, the rook. But he has even a lot better move here, which is this queen right here attacking my queen. The only thing is this bishop is in the way, so it's called a discovery, because you can see the queen is x-raying, because it can move straight, but it's being blocked by its own piece. So if this bishop can go somewhere and attack somewhere, that'll be good. And where can it go to attack something better than a queen? Well, right here, a king, and I'm in check. So I can't move my queen out of the way. So it's a discovery. I can go here if I want, but it's not going to do anything, so I might as well take the bishop. When I do, he'll take the queen. So he'll get a queen for a bishop. So that's why I decided after he took the knight, I'm not going to take back, because I would have lost my queen. So I've just decided to give up a knight instead, just lose a knight, and just live with that, and then just try to play that game. So I was kind of behind a knight from the get-go right here. So yeah, I should have probably just not tried to overthink and keep it simple and just moved my bishop, and I would have had a great king, because that pawn is really weak right here. He can't really move the pawn here, because then I would just take the rook, and no, I would have had a really good game if I just moved the bishop here, and I wouldn't have been a piece down. But I didn't do that, which is okay. So what do we do? Not here. So yeah. Okay, so right here. So yeah, I just moved. So I just got my bishop out of the way. I got my plan to get the king out of the way right here was so his idea is he still has that. See, if I take, he takes back with the bishop, and if I take back with the queen, he can still give me that check with that bishop. So what I decided to do was get my king out of the way so he can move his bishop and give me that check. And now my threat is to take this guy, and he can't take my queen now, right? So so he realized that and he moved it out of the way. I decided to give up my bishop here because usually when you're down material, you don't want to give stuff up. But here it was good for me because that bishop was a strong bishop anyway. And by taking here, I've gotten rid of his bishop, but also his pawn is weak now. This pawn is kind of like a target. His king feels a little bit open as well, so that's what I went for. Here I went back to protect this pawn with the queen. Here his threat was to checkmate, so I moved the pawn right here, threatening a check, and this is something I missed. I had even a better move than threatening his queen, which was right here, giving him a check, taking that pawn, and he can't put anything in the way or take my queen, so he has to move out of the way. When he does, I'll take the bishop. So that's what I should have done. And he could have taken this pawn, yeah, but that's okay. It's not too bad. And he could take this pawn too if he wants, right here. But Yeah, no, it would have been still good for me because I would have gotten my bishop back, right? So I have a lot of good pawns on here. He only has 2 pawns right here. I have 4 pawns right here, which he could have taken 1 pawn if he wants, but it would have still been good for me. A little bit better than before. So no, that was good. And yeah. So so what else did we do? There's lots of good lessons in this though. Even though I messed up, it was a good because there's good lessons to learn from here. So I don't know why he gave up the bishop here, because my queen is protecting this guy. So he couldn't have taken, because right here when he took with the bishop, I have to take with this pawn. I can't take with this pawn because it would have been check. And he took the rook, which was protected by my queen. So I don't know what his plan was there, but here I had a double attack. But he had the in-between move, which is moving the queen out of the way with the check, so I have to respond to the check. I thought it's good for me to trade here, because he had a really powerful attack going, felt like, with the queen and the knight going. So just getting rid of some pieces felt good for me. He got a... I wanted to move my bishop into the game here, but if I had done that, he would have taken this pawn, so that's why I moved it first out of the way. He traded the bishop for a knight, which is a good move on his part, because bishop would have been stronger. I moved my rook here to protect this pawns right here and prevent against the check from this rook coming in. He got his king into the game. I got my king into the game. And then I traded that pawn so I can push that pawn. Now here, I should have actually moved this pawn here, preventing him from coming here, and he can't come here. But I didn't do that. What did I do instead? So in endgames, you kind of want to think about how you can... It's about piece activity again, how you can prevent your opponent's king from coming into good squares, and how you can get your king and other pieces into good squares as well. So yeah, I moved the pawn instead. I don't know why I did that. Oh, because I wanted my pawns to be as further up the board as possible, just in case. But here, the best move was to move the king right here, so his king can't come into that square. So that would have been a really good, powerful move. But anyway, I made a mistake, so I realized that, and then try to push this pawn right here. Get everything into the game. Yeah. So here, so right here from the setup right here itself, this king, when you want to push your pawn and you only have versus 2 kings, you want your king to be in front of the pawn, not behind the pawn, because then it's hard to push the king forward. So if my king was here, for example, and if his king was where my king is, then it would have been good for him. That wouldn't have been a draw. But here, it's hard for him to push my king out of the way. Again, in endgames, it's about pushing your king out of the way. And see, I'm always preventing his king from coming in and coming in front of his pawn, which is where he wants his king to be to make it queen. So, and he gave me check. So he'll be able to push me back. See, he's able to push me back each time, because every time he comes to the center, if you guys notice, I can't go anywhere. Because as soon as if I ever go here, and if I ever go to the side, then he has this move. If I come here, he can come here. And let's just say, for example, I give him the space to come to the front. So he comes here. Then this is the front position I'm talking about. You want the king to be in the front. The reason is, now let's say I go here. Then he can go here. See this squares in front of the pawn? His king is protecting the pawn now. See my king? I can't take it because his king will be protecting. So that's the position he wants to achieve. And then if I try to... And then whose turn is it? Is it my turn? So let's say I make a bad move again. Go here. He can go check. I go here. Go here. See, now these 3 squares right here, I can't do anything because his king is protecting that square. Even if he comes here, see, coming here, I can't take the pawn. See? So, but instead, so that's why you want your king to be in front of the pawn. But what happened? So let's see back. But once the king is behind the pawn, it's not easy for him to come in the front unless if I give him the option to come in the front, like if I play bad moves. So, so right here he gave me check, so I came here. He came back here. So now I can't go anywhere. I can't come here, I can't come here, I can't go to the side here because that's check. I can't go to the side, so I'll move back. Yeah. And then I'm always, look how I'm moving, always mirroring the king. This is called opposition. So you always want to gain the opposition. Whoever usually gains the opposition in endgames is usually winning. Usually. Not always the case. You want to evaluate each position separately, but that's the case. So that's how he's able to push me back, because the same setup from before. See, once he gets this position, can go here, I can't go here, I can't go here, here, check, so I go back. but he's never able to get his king in the front. That's what I'm able to achieve by keeping my king always in the front here. He can't bring his king to the front, so that's why he's not able to queen. So he noticed that. He's like, from here, see, if he had gone back here, then that would have been stalemate. Do you see that? Because before, every time he brought his king back here, I was able to move one step back. But now I can't move any step back right here. So that's why if he had gone here, then that's stalemate. Because I can't move anything else. And I can't move my king anywhere. I can't go back, right? So he realized that. And he gave up the pawn. Now, even before when I started this, so this is something it's very important to know, because if you get a king and a king endgame like this, you have to know how to win it or how to defend it. Like how I was trying to defend it because I was behind a pawn. He was trying to win this game because he was trying to push it. And I was able to tell already from somewhere in the middle here that it's a drawn game. The reason is this pawn, he's not able to queen with this pawn. The reason is I'm in front. If he tries to go queen with another pawn here, these are called the rook pawns, the pawns that's on the rook, because rooks are right here, right? So right here, right here. So any pawns that's on this file right here, or this file right here, they're called the rook pawns. So with these rook pawns, so with these pawns in the center, you want your king to be in the front, but here with these rook pawns, you want your king to be somewhere here. The reason is, this is the queening square right here. So you want your king to protect that square and prevent your opponent's king, so my king, from entering here. Because once I come in here, it's game over. Because at least in the middle right here, I had the option of going to the sides, you know. But here, I don't have the option of going back or to the side. So there's less options for me, so it's more easier to stalemate on the rook pawns. And even so, with the pawns on the knight pawns. So yeah, so that's why I knew. So right here, you guys already know why he gave up this pawn, because or else would have been stalemate. But right here, my plan was to get into these squares somewhere here, because once I get into that square, I can always go into the h8 square whenever I need. And he can't bring his king there, because a king and a king, they can't go close to each other. So I knew this would be stalemate here. So just take that pawn, and same thing right here. What he wants to do with his king, he wants to get his king right here to prevent my king from coming into this square, anywhere in these square. Because once I get in here, I can just, you know, it will be a draw. But the problem is he can't go directly to the square, because then he can't move the pawn and this pawn, because my pawn's blocking it. So he has to first try to find a way to go take off my pawn and then rush to this spot, which he can't do because we both only get one moves. So yeah. I was just one step ahead here, as you guys saw. If I had done one more move like this, then he would have had a chance to prevent me from coming here. But still, this is probably a draw, because I can go here. He goes here. Let's say I go. He goes. He just. I go here. He could come here. So I think that's a bad move. Oh yeah. That's not good for him, because then I can come here. So let's say he doesn't do that. So I can come here and then come there. So let's say he doesn't do that. Instead, he pushes the pawn again. I'll come here again. And see, the problem right here is he can go here. See, his own king now blocks the front of the way. So I don't even have to get into this square, as long as I get somewhere close by and I can prevent his king from moving. So let's say he goes, so I move here, he goes here, and I go here. See, his own king is in front of his pawn, so it'd be stalemate again. So even if I get close to this square, close enough so his king can't move out of the way, that's draw enough for me. That would be a draw, because I can prevent his own king from coming out. So I don't always have to get to the farthest end square, corner square here. I could even, if I get close enough to prevent his king from coming out, that's a draw as well. So that's some opening techniques to know, so you can win against your king. It's super important. It's something you will learn. So if you don't know, yeah, just hope you learned that, and you can use it in your games as well. So you can plan about that, like look for those things before you go towards, you know, trading off your pieces. So if you see some of your pawns are on the end, maybe you don't want to trade off your pieces yet, because unless you have some center pawns which are really protected and very powerful that you can just know for sure you can queen them, then you can trade off the pawns, right? So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy that. Give me a thumbs up if you like that, and comment down below what you'd like to see and what you thought. And yeah, we'll play some more game. And 1300, 1342. That's pretty good on this video. We'll see if we can get to 1400 next video. All right. Well, I hope you guys had fun. Share, enjoy, and learn. And I'll see you guys next week. Thanks.